What is up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Around the Clock History Podcast, a history podcast we made with me, Nightinqs, and my very good friend, MJ Atkins. If you want to say hi, MJ.
Oh, hi.
All right. That's MJ. For our first episode, we're gonna be talking about um a really early moment of history, and when I say moment, I mean era, the Bronze Age. So, yeah, do you want to start it off? What should we talk about first about this very nice
Um,
Bronze Age?
so we should start by just say how the Bronze Age really kicked off
Definitely,
history, and
definitely.
then the collapse just started everything over.
Yeah, that's really
Um,
important. Especially the
so
Bronze Era
yeah,
collapse. All right.
so essentially, many civilizations popped up all across, like the Eastern, what would later be the Roman Empire,
Mm-hmm.
place. So, like civilizations in Egypt started in like around the Nile, and things started in Greece and the Middle East.
Yes.
Um, Trade was necessary at this time, so it helped establish a global trade network. And
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of civilizations, really started to kick off like I can name a few around the world. Like every part of the world had its own thing going on during the Bronze Age. Maybe not really the Americas, but in the future we'll talk more about the Americas as a whole. But when you say Greece, the Mycenaeans and the Minoans were really prominent at the time. The Minoans, obviously, established in the on the island of Minoa, and the Mycenaeans were really important, a very important culture in Greece. And actually, the Mycenaeans were like, the stepping stones to, empires of Greece like Sparta, Athens, and even the Kingdom of Macedonia, which was which had the leader of Alexander the Great, who won all of his battles. By the way, I don't know how he did it. And
yeah,
in South India, like the Harappan civilization or the Indus Rivers Valley civilization, like that hits close to home, right? Like one of the oldest civilizations um, in the world. That's where a lot of cultures really started. And yeah, and I can name I can still name a few. Like Bronze Age was really important for the development of empires. Like it's a really underrated age. Like most people go way farther than that, like in more modern times. But to even talk about later times, you need to start with something like the Bronze Age because it's really important. Like I've said this 3 times already. I can't emphasize that. Like even in China, the Shah dynasty was the first. I know the Qing dynasty was like first officially, and they did a lot of good things. But Shah, I think, was the first, like the very first dynasty. So yeah, a ton of civilizations that kickstarted on the Bronze Age. All right, so anything to follow up on that?
yeah. I mean, you're right. It was just a really pivotal moment in just history in general. I mean, you had global trade networks, like I said before, better tools. Everything was
Better
kind of kicked
weapons.
off in that era. There was just a lot of historical, you know, inaccuracies with that era, though, because a lot of the records and things were burned, and there's not much left of that era.
Yeah, yeah, it's really hard. Like when records get lost. Of like I sorry for going off topic and all over the place, despite being on the Bronze Age episode. But I just really want to emphasize that losing records is really terrible. And whenever you try to research something and then you say, then you see, all the records are lost, that's pretty much a punch in the gut because, you can't, research more about that age at all, especially with the Bronze Age. And that's just, again, it's a punch in the gut. And it's a terrible feeling. Like,
Right.
especially like, I'm not trying to put this into like a political stance, all that, but when a group of people, um, burn historical records, like the Library of Alexandria, I believe. That hit a huge toll, and that just hurts my heart to see all those records and stuff in a great library just burned and it's gone because of disagreement. So we need to really, emphasize and make the Bronze Age really important because, a lot of cultures formed, and I mean, yeah, it's sometimes Bronze Age is really underrated, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I've been, ignoring it. And like I've been ignoring it. I was like, here, let me just go on to modern history. I don't really care now. Now I'm trying to really emphasize don't look down upon this age at all. Don't push it away. Now I'm learning this mistake. Don't push it away. This is a really cool
Right.
era of history. So yeah, the burning of historical records. It is what it is. It happened, and yeah, I hope we get more research on this further on. Maybe we can find more records that weren't destroyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, it sucks that all the records were broken and stuff. And, when the Bronze Age collapsed, um, and that there was no information that people could build off of. So, they wanted to advance more, but all those records of bronze and tin and tools and stuff, they were all just gone, so they couldn't do that. So, when the age collapsed, people had trouble getting back to that standard of living.
Yeah, that's why we really need to embrace the older ages because you never know when you never know if you can't find any other information about that. So just really embrace it. Like I know sometimes
Right.
it's a little boring, and you'd be rather doing modern events that have way more research. But for the Bronze Age, my advice to you, just embrace it. It's pretty cool to see how um standard of living, like our tools upgrading, and civilization started away here, and how we've advanced. And advancing is cool and all, but you always need to start from, like, this isn't the very start at all. But Bronze Age was a huge impact to current day civilization. So just a tip to you: you always need to start down low. I know it's hard. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to learn about this at all. I want to learn about modern day stuff like World War II, World War I, like the current political climate of the world. I get that, but just start with the Bronze Age, um and you'll be doing yourself a favor. All right.
Yeah, it was a good era. I mean, there was a bunch of monuments built. Like the Sphinx, I believe, was built during the Bronze Era, and I believe some of the monuments in Athens.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe a lot of those monuments and things were possible due to the technological advancements in the era.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the monuments you see to this current day, like they're super cool, and I mean, yeah, they're like, when you see them today, they're like really cool. And the Bronze Age contributed to all of that. Like the civilization of Egypt was really skilled in making really really nice monuments. Like they still catch my breath every time I look at them. Like even on a Google photo, like you know the Bronze Age really contributed to that. So that was another important thing. We've talked briefly about tools, weapons, and civilizations, but the architecture also was really nice at the time.
Hmm.
So and also in Greece too. Like yeah, it just amazes me how the architecture you see today is really nice, but even in the Bronze Age, it also matches up to that standard. Like I really want to visit the pyramids, the Sphinx, and all the other places in Athens. But there's a pandemic going on, so I can't really do that. But when it doesn't, I really want to check that out in the future. So yeah, architecture,
Yeah,
architecture, tools, weapons, all of that. put that in the Bronze Age category because that was really great. So here, let's talk more about the warfare and weapons part of that because we said that only briefly.
Yeah. So, the Egyptians and so I don't remember what the society was called, but it was the civilization in the Middle East. But Egypt and them were some of the most
Syria.
powerful armies of their time. So, actually, what interests me is the first known peace treaty is between the Egyptians and that other clan. Um, I just found it interesting because they were such powerful groups, but um, I don't know, they were able to develop fast and get enough soldiers. So, some of the earlier wars in human history.
Yeah, I get it. That's really fascinating because nowadays you see superpowers like the United States, Russia, China, all of those. But it still amazes me that even 2000 years ago, you know, the fact that, superpowers existed back then, like nothing has really changed. And then there's a major peace treaty. I'm not sure right off the bat what clan or civilization you're talking about. Might be the Assyrians or the
Maybe. I
Babylonians.
think that might have been it.
Okay, the Assyrians and the Egyptians. Because yeah, really read I've read up a lot about how these factions have gone to war a lot, and how they were dubbed superpowers. Like that's pretty cool. And the peace treaty, like nothing, war never changes. And I know that's from a video game, but the context is true for 2,000 years ago and modern day. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, and the weapons, improved a lot. Like, bronze, the discovery of bronze was really nice for the weapons, on better swords, spears, even better bow and arrows were made to, keep up with the conflict. And I believe the Egyptians, along with bronze, use a lot of horse chariots and horses in
Mhm.
their conflicts as well. And also,
Mhm.
I, I I'm not sure about this because camels will also in the area of the world the Egyptians were in. They were more the camels were more used by the Arabians, in like the Rashidun Caliphate, which is way past there. But they had the horses and the camels along with the bronze, and that's pretty much how all the warfare became better. And that's
Yeah.
basically why Assyria and Mesopotamia and Egypt, near the Nile, were pretty much superpowers.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was a really important aspect of warfare in the Bronze Age, and yeah, we really advanced on the warfare from that. But then again, gotta start with the lower ages, so the Bronze Age. So yeah, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure Assyria used domesticated and used horses with it too. So that would be pretty scary to be in a war with either Egypt or Syria. There were superpowers, and they had Egypt had a ton of monuments and bustling cities across the Nile, which was really fertile and a lot of trade. So yeah, Egypt and Mesopotamia. If you're reading about the Bronze Age, you definitely have to read about them too, because without those civilizations in the Bronze Age, it wouldn't have been that memorable, in my opinion. I get it, the Mycenaeans and the Indus River Valley civilization were great too, but definitely gotta add those in there. So
Mhm.
that was the warfare aspect of it. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about
Well,
for
I
the Bronze Age?
mean, so now you need control of like the oceans to,
Oh yeah.
sail across and do warfare. But it's interesting that most of those civilizations that popped up at the time were they were in the Mediterranean. So then you didn't really need control of the ocean. You really just needed control of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, control of the Mediterranean was very important, and I expect, and also the trading. If you had control of the Mediterranean militarily and trade routes on the Mediterranean, that would be amazing, and that's what they did. A lot of trade came through via the Mediterranean, and I believe this is past again, but the Phoenicians made heavy impact on that. Like they were the superpowers in the Mediterranean, just like Egypt and Assyria. On land were superpowers. Egypt a little bit in the sea too, with the Nile, but Phoenicia and Carthage in general made huge impact and success on the Mediterranean. So never forget about the Mediterranean in this time period and other time periods a little bit past that. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mediterranean a huge factor on that, and also Greece was Greece was on the Mediterranean too. So
Right.
never forget
If
that.
you Yeah, if you control the Mediterranean at the time, it's like you could blockade trading and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you ever went to war with something, they wouldn't be able to trade, and their economic value would decrease, right?
Yes.
So it's essential at the time. Um, it's like how over time Italy used to be this very powerful geographic area,
Yeah.
because they had big control of the Mediterranean. But now they don't have as much navy because they'd have to, you know, choke all their ships out of a bottleneck. And over the time, Italy has gotten, less powerful as a nation.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with you. So Mediterranean, really important, and about Italy, yeah. But really, whenever I think about the conquest, I don't really think about the navy aspect of that because they were more primarily on land, in regions like Germania. They invaded Germania, and then they went east, they went west. They pretty much went everywhere around the area, but that was primarily on land. For the war against Carthage and Rome, which is a really really big war, really important. I actually heard that they did have to that Carthaginian ship that just swept across the shore. The Carthaginian ship wasn't in use, and it was probably defeated. The Romans actually had to since Carthage was really really heavily on they relied really heavily on the navy, like you know really heavily. Like they were more the maritime one than Rome. Rome had to mimic the Carthaginian ship to make their own ships. So Rome wasn't really a maritime empire. So yes, I agree with you. That's why Italy was not really, not really strong in the navy, and they kind of digressed on the navy. They were more land, but Carthage was definitely more maritime. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, and no one really knows how the Bronze Age collapsed. I mean, sorry to if this is like ending it or whatever, but it's I find it interesting that we don't know how exactly the Bronze Age came to a close, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like it seems like I said earlier, if it was more well documented, we wouldn't have that issue. But everything was burned or decimated, and so no one knows how it came to an end. It was such a prosperous era, and it's just confusing and sad that it ended so abruptly.
yeah. Oh, it really is sad that such a great age came to an end. Just like there were so many major moments, like a lot of civilizations, warfare, and superpowers, um, and the tools getting better, and as well as the Mediterranean. The Bronze Age, really relied on the Mediterranean, on Europe. So just coming to an end, I get it. You need to advance, and you need to get better over time. But Bronze Age was a really important moment, and it brought the way for where I'm standing here right now. Here, I know I'm in the U.S. right now, and Bronze Age really didn't impact America at all. But you know what? it did provide the stepping stones for civilization today. So, yeah, that's a really great moment in age in history. I suggest you further research upon it. Prove us wrong if we said anything wrong, and just this is only a 30-minute podcast, so again, you should just whoever's watching, you should just research about this more, and just appreciate the Bronze Age more because modern stuff is pretty good, but if not for the Bronze Age, this modern stuff wouldn't really be that good. So please don't push this topic away. Just word of advice, just embrace it, just learn about it, and then there's two good things about this. If you learn about it, it's really fun part of history, and then if you also learn about it, you can go quickly up into modern stuff. So there's two positives about it. So do your research about this and just embrace it. Don't push it away.
Right. And if we said anything wrong, please do correct us.
Yeah,
We may sound smart and stuff, but we
we're
both
not.
have very
I mean,
little
I'm not.
knowledge about this. We're both kind of dumbasses. I don't know if I can
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that on
yeah, yeah.
YouTube.
I agree. I agree with him. And yeah, also we can swear on this, by the way. Don't call us out in the comments, okay?
Yeah,
I'm 14 years old.
constructive
I can.
criticism would be nice.
Yeah,
Don't
but
just
I'm
be like, I don't like your voices. But you
sorry.
know,
That's the way. So that's the
but
way.
you can criticize us. It's fine.
Yeah, for our knowledge. But if you can criticize us about, oh, you're cussing. Wow, I was gonna show my 8-year-old about this. Or oh, I don't like your voices. Or you say or you stutter a lot.
I think it might be a
That's
bad idea to criticize the audience. We should just keep talking about history.
yeah, but I know, but don't criticize us about really those things. I mean, on the studying one you can. I'll try to clean up on that, but don't criticize us about that stuff, please.
Yeah, we'll get better over time.
Yeah, but if we're wrong on our history, definitely criticize us and
Right.
here's constructive criticism. I don't want to be. I don't. I know we're gonna be wrong a lot, but I don't want to be wrong on this. So please, this is my first podcast ever in my life. If it's not good, then don't worry, we'll get better. If you just
Hmm.
say it's terrible, it's bad, go quit. That's pretty much insulting. You really shouldn't do that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, this is our first podcast. We're hoping to do a long series. I mean, I don't know. What do you want to do next? I mean, we did the Bronze
Um.
Age this time, but
I'm not sure. We'll talk more about what we're gonna do next. We're still trying to think, but yeah. I think we did well on our first one. If you don't think so, just give feedback on the comments. But anyways, that will end it here. We both have channels. MJ's not really using that one, but I do have a channel that I use a lot. So if you didn't know, my name is
okay.
Nightinqs. I'll put the link on his channel below if you want. Please subscribe to both of us. That will really help out a lot, and turn on the bell for notifications so you get new videos. Um, Please like and comment for constructive criticism. And that will end it. Thank you for listening to our first podcast, and we'll be here for more. This is
Hmm.
MJ and Solomon, aka Nightinqs, signing out.